All right, here at the Combine, and I'm joined by the Director of Pro Scouting, Sheldon White. Sheldon, I just wanted to ask you just first, just kind of the path to here, right? I mean, you were a long time Detroit Lion, worked in the front office. You went to Michigan State, was a Spartan for a little bit, and now you're a Steeler. Can you just talk about your journey to the Steelers?
Okay, I'll take you a little farther back than that. I actually was at the NFL Combine in 1988 from Miami, Ohio, and then I got drafted 62nd by the New York Giants in 1988. So started there. Then when I was finished playing, I went to Miami, Ohio to coach for 3 years. After those 3 years, Detroit Lions hired me. I was there for 19 years. I finished up as the interim general manager. When that was finished, I went to Michigan State and joined my son. My son, Cody White, was coming the next year as Mr. Football in the state of Michigan. So I got hired a year before him for 3 or 4 years, and then COVID hit. Sat out through COVID, came back last year with the Washington Commanders as an area scout, and then Omar hired me as a director.
Second stint with your son, not only in the collegiate level, then the pro. Can you just talk about kind of that relationship, to be able to see your son and be around in the facility with him?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because I literally was not going to Michigan State. He was going to Michigan State. He had committed. I was going probably to Indiana at that moment. 2 weeks before I was scheduled to go there, he intercepted me. I ended up at Michigan State with him throughout his entire career there. It was outstanding, a lot of fun. And then when that was over with, I go to Washington. He's here for 2 years before I get here. So yeah. I'm like, that's great. We got 2 shots at this Super Bowl thing here, right? You can do your thing over here. I can do mine over here. And out of nowhere, Omar calls me last summer, and I'm here with them as well. It's a great dynamic because when you're around your son and he's competing at those highest levels, both of our jobs are so volatile. You have to bring it every day and be ready to roll. If you're not, they will find someone else to do it. So I keep telling him I want you to last here longer than I am.
Now, this is the college experience. This is them trying to make it in. You deal with more of the guys on the current side and how they come. What are you working on this time of year? And even though you're at the Combine, like what's your focus during this time?
Well, the good thing about my experience and what I've done, I started off as a Blesto area scout. And then I did an area, and then I did a college/pro job. Then I started negotiating contracts, and then I was a VP of pro personnel. Then I've been an interim general manager. So I've done like the whole gamut of the scouting. So it really helps for the pro guys that are hired in that area to get a feel for what they look like coming out. When you draft a guy, you got to sometimes develop them. Some of the guys come in ready to go. Some of them, we may take them 2 or 3 years, especially some positions like offensive line. It may take them, a quarterback, it may take them a while to develop. So you have the pro guys come in and they're able to see what these guys still look at while they're coming out and why they're in a development. On the pro side, we're grading them every year. So you want to make sure you're watching that development and you can see them climb with a bell curve, level off, and eventually flatten down or get injured along the way. So you just want to have that perspective of seeing what a player looks like coming out. Because when we sign players, they have to be ready to go now in pro. On college side, they may be ready, like George Pickens walked right in and he was ready to go, and they may not be ready. And then you just have to be a little patient, give them some time to develop, and see how we do, and we do a great job here doing that.
We've heard over the last couple of years about minorities getting the placement opportunities in the higher level positions. Can you just talk about the importance of the minority placement program and some of the other initiatives by the Minority Football Coaches Coalition and the different organizations out there to promote minorities in this part?
Okay, I'll even go a little further than that. I'm replacing Omar at the Women's Forum for additional female candidates that are out there and available. Everyone needs a little opportunity to become better at what they're doing. I believe the NFL's a melting pot in itself, and I believe in that structure. So like the faces downstairs should look something like the faces upstairs sometimes. So it's a good program that gives exposure, and once you get it, you just have to take your opportunity and run with it. But it gives a lot of people a chance to get inside the building and then show who they are and then develop as employees.